Board of Trustees of the Lamar Consolidated Independent School District is called to order at 7 p.m. This is the regular monthly board meeting being held on May 18th, 2021. We have a quorum with all members present. Please join me in a moment of silence to observe as you feel appropriate. All right, please stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance and then the pledge to the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one indivisible.
All right, please be seated. Dr. Randall, are there any recognitions this evening?
Yes, ma'am, Madam President. We are super excited to recognize our valedictorians and salutatorians for this year, and they have worked through a lot of challenges, but they have been able to achieve that major goal. So,
So good evening. I'm Dr. Kay Williams. I'm the principal of Lamar Consolidated High School, and so I want to present to our school board tonight Dr. Randall, Bonita Johnson, who is our salutatorian. Bonita is going to University of Texas, and she is an award winner of the Terry Scholar for UT. Her GPA was 115.81. Behind us this evening, we have her uncle, Ben Elander, who's here to support her this evening. She is going to major in biology, and what Bonita would like to do is she would like to go back to her home country of Dominica and work with the Doctors Without Borders to give back to her country and the medical field. So she wants to be a doctor. While she was at Lamar High School, she was involved on the wrestling team, Skills USA, Student Council, TSA, and National Honor Society. So our salutatorian, Bonita Johnson. Okay, next we have our valedictorian, Steve Mcwilliam, and Steve is here this evening with his mother, Sarah Thomas, and younger sister, Nina. Steve's GPA is 118.30. He'll be attending University of Texas, where he'd like to study psychology and become some type of therapist. While at Lamar High School, Steve was a very busy young man involved in student council, HOSA, Color Guard, LEOs, college, community and careers, and National Honor Society. And of course, congratulations on being our valedictorian for the Lamar Consolidated High School.
Good evening. Madam President, distinguished members of the school board, Dr. Randall, Dr. Nevins. I'm Juan Nava. I'm the principal of B.F. Terry High School. And today, I have the honor of recognizing our valedictorian and salutatorian. So first off, we have Kyra Amari Anthony. She's the daughter of Cornelius and Cheryl Anthony. She plans to attend Houston-Tillotson University, where she will major in biology. She's looking at attending dental school to become an orthodontist and will specialize in dental cosmetology. While at Terry High School, Kyra was a 3-sports letterman. She participated in volleyball, golf, and track and field. Additionally, she was the president of NHS, participated in student council, and was the Health Occupation Students of America HOSA member. Kyra's also favorite part of high school is spending quality time with her dad, who is former coach at B.F. Terry High School, where she spent time eating lunch with him and just having a good time with him. She encourages her fellow Rangers to trust the process and keep in mind that how you finish is more important than how you start. So. Next, we have our valedictorian for the class of 2021 at Terry High School, Luis Mario Garcia III, GPA of 116.5. He is the son of Luis and Mireya Garcia. Luis plans to attend Texas State University, where he also is going to be majoring in biology. After graduation, he plans to pursue a career as a doctor in the orthopedic field. While at Terry, Luis was a member of the Ranger varsity football team, varsity baseball team, and also a member of NHS, Leadership High School, the Terry High School Student Advisory Council, and Ranger Leadership Council. Lewis remembers fond memories that he made at Terry, that he will cherish the bonds and friendships he formed with classmates, teammates, coaches, and teachers alike. He reminds the Terry community to enjoy every moment of every day. Lewis leaves the class of 2021 and his fellow Rangers with his favorite quote by Michael Jordan: "Some people want it to happen, some wish it would happen, others make it happen." Thank you.
Good evening, Madam President, Dr. Randall, and honored board. I would like to introduce to you the salutatorian of Foster High School, Rahman Khandekar. He is here with his father tonight, Khandekar Rahman. Rahman's GPA at Foster High School was 118.6673, while he plans to go to the University of Texas at Austin, where he plans to be an engineer. His career plans: he wants to be an engineer and work with new technologies. His scholarship he received was for an engineering scholarship at the University of Texas at Austin. What he hopes to accomplish in life is that he wants to be successful and be remembered in history for doing something important. What he remembers most about being at Foster High School is being around all of his friends and all of the fun that he had with his friends and the variety of things that he learned from his teachers. His favorite quote is, "In the middle of difficulty lies opportunity." That's from Albert Einstein. Thank you for being here tonight, Ramon. All right. Foster High School's valedictorian this year is Brian Wu. He is here with his mother, Christine Wu. Brian Wu's GPA at Foster High School was 119.314. Brian Wu is a National Merit Scholar, so if you would please give him a round of applause. You'll wait? What? Brian wants to say something.
I'd just like to say that when I got this award, or when we were in the round for qualifying for this award, he said if I won it, he would buy me a steak dinner. I want that on recording. I need that steak dinner.
Brian, I'll get you the biggest steak that you want. I don't recall that, but I guess since it's on recording, we'll take care of that. Brian was in the National Honor Society. He was the president of that, student council vice president. He was in WIT for all 4 years of high school, Asian American Club, French Club, Ping Pong Club, and he also was highly involved with Vacation Bible School at St. John's Methodist Church. He's going to Rice University, where he's going to study economics. His career plans after college: he plans to be either a businessman or go to law school. And what he hopes to do in life is to launch, he wants to help entrepreneurs launch and survive and succeed. I give to you Brian Wu, National Merit Scholar and Steak Eater.
He's got witnesses.
Hello, everyone. I am Heather Patterson. I'm the proud principal of George Ranch High School, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about my salutatorian. George Ranch High School salutatorian this year is Stefan Christian Pham. His parents are Yunishka and Gia Pham, and his GPA is a 120.8102. pretty impressive out of 691 graduates. He belongs to the Math Honor Society, the National Honor Society, the Spanish Honor Society, Student Council. He will be attending the University of California, Berkeley to study physics. His scholarships include National AP Scholar, National Merit Commended Scholar, MathCon National Finalist, State Academic Decathlon 3rd place for Mathematics event at State, and many more. His words are advice. It's cliche to say YOLO, but it's true. Take a bet on yourself and pursue whatever you're passionate about. If you end up loving what you do, no one can ever say you're failing. Stefan Fan. I want to introduce to you George Ranch High School's valedictorian. This is Cameron Crouch. His parents are Glenda and Kevin Crouch. His GPA is a 120.8140. That's a lot of numbers. That's amazing. Out of 691 graduates. Cameron belongs to many organizations. A few of those are Junior State of America. He's the president and founder. English National Honor Society president and founder. Spanish National Honor Society fundraising chair. TSA, Technology Student Association. Student Council and National Honor Society. That's just a few. Cameron will be attending his dream school, Stanford University, to study computer science and theater performance studies. His scholarships include, there was a lot, but here's quite a few of them. Texas Thespian Scholarship, National AP Scholarship, International Thespian Society Democracy Works Essay Runner-Up 2021, National Merit Commended Scholar, United States Presidential Scholar Candidate, and College Board Rules Small Town Scholar. His words are advice. Don't forget to live in the moment. At one point, we all dreamed about being where we are right now. We tend to look forward to a specific event or date and forget to appreciate until it's gone. Make sure you thank the people who have enabled you to be where you are today. So thank you, Cameron.
Madam President, board members, Dr. Randall, I'm Dan Ward, the principal at Fulshire High School. It's my honor tonight to introduce Ina Santiago, who is our salutatorian. She's joined by her mom, Gina Morfe. She also plans to attend the University of A&M. I figured I'd get a whoop out of that. A&M University, I better say it right or they're gonna get mad at me. She was a section leader in the Charger Band, National Honor Society, part of our student council. She has a GPA of 117.78, and I love her quote, which is her favorite quote. Although no one can go back and make a brand new start, anyone can start from now and make a brand new ending. Congratulations. Our high school valedictorian is Julia Jensen. She's the daughter of Carl and Tanya Jensen. She plans to attend the University of Central Florida. She is a National Merit Scholar. Congratulations. She is the president of our National Honor Society, and she served as the co-captain on the Storm Dance team. She has a GPA of 118.99, and when I leave, she's probably going to tell me, why didn't you just make it 119? Her favorite quote is, your decisions today will define your tomorrow. Congratulations.
Get everybody?
Yep, Mike's giving us the handbook.
All right, well, we're enjoying it, so we just want to keep going, whether we have them or not.
A few years we'll have more.
The next item on the agenda is retiring board member, and I will begin with just a few comments. Catherine Kaminsky has been a valued and respected board member since 2013. During her 8-year tenure as a board member, Lamar CISD has experienced numerous accomplishments, including the board being named a 2018 Texas Honor School Board, earning an A rating from the Texas Education Agency, opening 11 new campuses, passing 3 bond issues, 2014, 2017, 2020, numerous state championships in football, volleyball, track, and wrestling, being selected for the Holsworth Center's inaugural Leadership Development Program, twice being named one of the best communities for music education, and Jackson Elementary being named a National Blue Ribbon School. While this is not a complete list of every accolade during Mrs. Kaminsky's time on the LCISD board, it shows how her continuous leadership has helped to shape and support the youth of Fort Bend County. It should be noted that Mrs. Kaminsky has successfully served Lamar CISD in numerous capacities, whether it was our School Health Advisory Committee, better known as SHAC, several board standing committees, or leading as the board president. Ms. K has done it all with genuine warmth and care for our students and staff. And we certainly appreciate all of the work that she's done for Lamar CISD.
In honor of your service,
You're good.
The little black box.
just take.
Ms. K, you might want to get up and come out front.
Yes,
So
why don't
with-
you-
I know you don't want to, but I'll tell Larry I got a chance to boss you around for just one.
You want me to come up here? I'll come up.
Yes, please.
So this is, thank you for your dedicated service to the students and staff and community of Lamar CISD. Ms. Kathleen. Oh, yes, there's a cross. I'll put it back in here.
And
Okay,
that-
stay,
Yep.
stay, stay. Oh, I get to boss her.
Little something else for you.
Well, just turn around and see.
Okay. We know you're very active, going to all your grandkids and seeing everything that they do. But you cannot forget about us. And so, we have made you a lifetime ambassador, and we hope that we see you at many games and activities over the years, so you will not forget us too. Okay?
Way to go, Mom.
Oh, one more. We came in together. We came in together. All right, guys.
And then
So I can
Commissioner.
just say hello and goodbye.
Well, you know what, we
No,
have one more thing
we got
for you.
one more thing.
If
You can
know,
sit
you
if
can
you'd
sit
like
for this
to.
portion.
All right.
Commissioner?
Uh-oh.
Well, good evening,
Evening.
Madam President, board members, Dr. Randall. It is my honor tonight to have been asked by the Kaminsky family to present a very special proclamation to a special lady. And I'm not going to read all the where is because Dr. Randall already took the wind out of my sail. But you all heard what Dr. Randall said, the many things that have been accomplished with her time on this board. But there is one whereas that I would like to read that is in my proclamation that I will be giving to you. Catherine, known as Miss K, Kaminsky, has impacted the lives of thousands of young people in the Fort Bend community, making the extra effort to help them grow and encouraging them to become who they want to be in the future. Now, therefore, be it resolved, I, Vincent Morales, Fort Bend County Commissioner, Precinct 1, recognizes Catherine Kaminsky for her service in education in Fort Bend County and Precinct 1. Thank you for all your service, and thank all of you for your service and what you do for the youth in this community. Thank you.
Here, I don't want to photo.
Smile, Kay.
Here, get out of the way.
Come on up, come on up. Oh, we got another.
All right.
Congratulations on your retirement.
Ms. Kay, do you want to say something now? Or we can,
Okay, how many, 5 minutes?
Go
Start
to the
the
podium.
You're practicing?
somebody put the code.
There you go. You got-
Where's the clock?
It's ticking.
No, it has been an honor and a privilege, and all the guys and ladies that are out there too. I have met so many wonderful people, and it was so much fun knowing that we were all in this for the kids, no matter what. And I'm sad about leaving, but I also know we've got Mr. Zach Lambert over there, who's going to be a great representative. He's in it for the kids, and that's what's so important. I'm going to miss all of you to some point.
Okay.
Thank
I
you,
have something
Catherine.
written down about it. And hopefully, I do want to stay involved as much as I can. And it was just time, and it's time for some new people. And Zach, I wish you all the luck in the world. You're going to have a great time with the new superintendent and with Dr. Randall. He's really became a very special person to me, part of my family. Thank you. And Joy, I've only known you for a couple of years, but I feel like it's forever. And Mandy, I remember our first luncheon, and you're just impressive. I appreciate that. Joe? I think we have our own private little joke. We just don't know what it is. But thank you for being my friend. And Alex, thank you also. Your job is awesome behind the scenes with the kids. And I'm proud to say that I know you. John, the other one, there's a mystery there, but he's going places. He's very interested. And I'm going to say the best for last with Kay. Kay and I were on the board at the very beginning. She actually took me to my first convention, broke me in. And,
We broke each other.
We've had, yeah. But it was just an honor, and my 5 minutes are up. So I'm going to say thank you to everybody, and hope I'll be able to see a lot of you throughout the school year. Thank you.
Welcome. Any comments from the board at this time?
Well, we hope to see you next fall when we open 2 new schools, so, oh, I'm gonna be yes, we can be there. We still got some work to do.
The party's not over, right?
No, Catherine, I've really enjoyed working with you and getting to know you, and you've really helped me behind the scenes catch up with some things that I've needed catching up on, as I haven't been paying attention to Lamar more in about 2.5 years. So I appreciate that. I appreciate all the candor and all the telling me where the bodies are buried and other things that you've told me. So I'm going to miss you on the board, but I do plan to see you around.
Good, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for everything. As I said, we talked a little earlier
Yeah,
because I didn't want to get emotional, so
we did
thank you,
that.
thank you. We
Yeah.
look forward to seeing you around.
Thank you again.
All right. So, Dr. Randall, are there any introductions?
We do not have any introductions tonight, Madam President.
Okay. Ms. Vossick, are there any public comments?
There are none.
There are none. Okay. So, then, let's see. Okay, so the next item is the approval of minutes. We need to approve minutes for April 6th, 2020, special meeting, April 13th, 2021, regular board meeting, and April 27th, 2021, special meeting. May I have a motion to approve the minutes? Ms. Kaminsky makes the motion. Do I have a second? Second. Ms. Brunzell seconds. Any discussion? All right, hearing none. Call for the vote. All in favor, raise your hand, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. None opposed, motion carries. All right. Let's see. Dr. Randall, you know what, I think my script is cut off here. Do we have any board reports? Is that-
I'd like to say that I had a meet and greet with Dr. Nivens on May the 10th out at the Seabourn Creek Nature Park, and I just wanted to thank the city of Rosenberg for, before that event started, they came out and sprayed for mosquitoes. And I had several people tell me there were no mosquitoes and they couldn't believe it. And I just want to say thank you to the city of Rosenberg for doing that. I also was able to attend the car parades for Terry High School and Lamar High School. So it was special to see those kids celebrating in an informal way. And I look forward to seeing the formal ceremony this coming week, the graduation ceremonies.
Yes.
Okay. Even though we didn't get to meet as a committee for facilities, I do have a few talking points tonight I'm going to run through, not very many. The ALC additions and renovations, the new 1621, and the first phase of Alternative Learning Center Academic Wing will open August 2021. Jane Long Historical Gym renovation scheduled to be complete and operational June 2021. Dr. Thomas E. Randall High School and Harry Wright Junior High School construction is 99% complete. FM 2977 and Colburn Road traffic signal was activated this morning. Good. And substantial completion will be June 1st. Fletcher Morgan Junior Elementary School construction is moving at a rapid pace on schedule for November 15th, 2021. And Maxine Phelan Elementary School permitting is in process, and Bond 2020, the first sale projects are beginning. And a couple of things, we were at the, and Joy and I went to the Foster Car Parade, and it was at the same time as the Lamar, so I'm glad Lamar had somebody there because we can't be two places at once.
Mr. Lambert was there with me too. So
Yes, I know, he was there. And it's been nice to be able to go and visit some of the schools with Dr. Nivens. I've been able to do a few of those this past couple weeks. And a few weeks ago, I did virtually the Gulf Coast School Board spring meeting, and because I was on there, I did win $500 scholarship, so I'm donating it back to the district that we can use as a board scholarship where it needs to be. So I'm glad to be able to do that, just to have my face on a Zoom meeting. It works. So anyway, that's all.
Any other reports?
I was just going to mention that Kay and I were able to go to the Foster High School play. I hope I'm calling this the right thing. John Lennon and Me. Is that what it was? Okay. It was very good. Lots of great talent.
And it's their sub-varsity group, so it was
Yeah, the JV.
the JV group.
Yeah,
So
it's really
I look forward to seeing some amazing talent next year, starring her daughter.
Yep, she'll be in there.
So Dr. Nivens has been crisscrossing the district, and I've had the pleasure of joining him at Fulshire High School and Lehman Junior High and Roberts Middle School, and it coincided really nicely with Teacher Appreciation Week, because my favorite part of all of the visits are meeting just the absolutely outstanding teachers that we have in the district, and seeing the work that they're doing with their students. Particularly at Fulshire High School, we met four Jensens, four teachers that are Jensen. We met Ms. Jensen, who is the 2020 Canvas Educator of the Year, and this blew my mind. 100% of her BC Calculus students passed their AP exam. We met Coach Jensen, who is the baseball coach, and we walked in, they were making pizza. Some of the kids were putting pineapple on the pizza. It was a whole thing, but they were having a great time. We met Miss Jensen, who has just an outstanding culinary arts class. The students were making pretzels. And then Miss Jensen is a science teacher, and she was the proud mom of the valedictorian at Fulshire High School, who we saw just a few minutes ago. So just 4 of the just incredible teachers that we got to see. They're really doing outstanding stuff. So pleasure to tag along with you, Dr. Nivens.
Yes, some of the things I was able to go with y'all, and so also it's been great to get back into the schools and tour with Dr. Nivens, and head of the Principal Patterson did not disappoint with the band and the confetti and the cheer squad, and it was wonderful. She showed us around the campus very well, and then we get to go to Reading Junior High and Polly Ryan tomorrow, so we'll finish that tour tomorrow. So it's really nice, and the seniors send off, and we got the 5 graduations coming up. So lots of exciting events. So, all right, I think that's it. Dr. Randall, is there a superintendent report?
There is, Madam President. May 9th, 2001, I signed my contract to become the superintendent of Lamar CISD. On May 18th, 2021, I'm serving as superintendent in my last meeting. The last 20 years have been challenging and rewarding. I want to thank Ruby and my family for their support. I could not have done it without them, and I want to thank the 29 board members. And I was reminded that in just a few minutes when Mr. Lambert is sworn in, it will be 30, even though it's just for one meeting.
It counts.
I've worked with over these years, and I really appreciate their support, especially this board for helping to shepherd Lamar CISD through COVID and the challenges it presented. I want to thank Karen, the cabinet, district staff, teachers and students for reaching the top of Mount Everest a reality. I also want to thank Dr. Nivens for accepting the challenge of taking the district to the next level. He is the right person at the right time to do this. It is my prayer that the team of 8, the board members and the new superintendent, will continue to keep kids first in all their decisions. It has truly been a pleasure serving Lamar CISD family. Thank you.
I'll open it up to some comments, and then
I'll go.
Go ahead, Manny.
Dr. Randall, I just wanted to thank you for your time here at Lamar. I've got 3 kids that have gone through, and they've had such a great experience, and you've just been a great leader. And I personally, it has been a true and distinct honor to be on this board with you, so I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
One of the things that I've come to appreciate about you behind the scenes is your steadiness. And the other thing that I've learned to really appreciate you as a taxpayer in this district since 2008 has been the way you've been fiscally responsible with the public's money. And the district and the finance department has won a lot of different awards for that, but you've been at the top of that, so I really appreciate that.
Thank you.
So a few remarks. As many of you know, in October 2020, Dr. Thomas Randall announced his retirement as superintendent of Lamar CISD after 20 years. We did some quick math and realized Dr. Randall has attended more than 500 board meetings in Lamar CISD alone. During his last board meeting tonight, I wanted to take a moment to thank him for his service and highlight his tenure with Lamar CISD. Dr. Randall is a pillar of this community, and his impact on community members, staff, parents, and most importantly, students, reaches far beyond the boundaries of the district. During his time in Lamar, Dr. Randall has developed trusting relationships with the community and families, created a culture of collaboration among staff, and encouraged thousands of students to reach their full potential. In summary, he is a true student-centered leader. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, I want to thank Dr. Randall once again for his dedication to Lamar CISD. We look forward to seeing him around our campuses and wish him all the best in the future.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, so we are now at the portion of the meeting where Mrs. Vosick will issue the election certificates, statement of elected officers, and administer the oaths of office to the newly elected trustees.
The last chance, man.
If you will open up your folders, you each have a certificate of election. That is yours to keep. The next document is the completion of statement of elected officer. If you will please sign that. And now if you will each raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office of Board of Trustees for Lamar Consolidated Independent School District. Single member district, state your district number. Of the state of Texas. And will to the best of my ability preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States and of this state. So help me God. Congratulations, and will you please sign the next form as well? All right, Mrs. Williams, I'll give you the meeting back.
So congratulations to our 3 re-elected trustees and to our newly,
Oh, go ahead, go ahead. I'm sorry.
elected trustee Zach Lambert. We will now take a short recess to take some photos and celebrate this moment. The time is now 7:38 p.m. We are now back in session. The time is 7:51 p.m. At this time, we will establish a consent agenda. The board creates a consent agenda, which are items the board members feel there is no need for further discussion. Side note for this evening, I wanted to note that because we have an LCISD graduation, the evening of our regular Thursday board meeting schedule, we have combined our monthly workshop and meeting into one this evening. Dr. Randall has contacted each board member to answer questions that the members may have regarding this month's agenda prior to this meeting. Okay, so we will start with the action items. A1.
Actually,
We already
starts
did
at
those.
4.
We start with A4.
Oh, we did do those, didn't we? Thank you. A4.
Do we just need to pull that?
Because we nominated.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you. 5, A5. A6. A7. A8. A9. A10.
I'd like to pull that one.
A11. A12. A13. A14. A15. A16. A17. A18. A19, A20, A21,
I'd like to pull that one.
A22, A23, A24, A25.
You have to pull A25.
Oh, yes, thank you. Okay. B1, B2, B3, C1,
I'd like to pull that one.
and C2. And last but not least, D1. Okay. So I show the consent agenda is A5, A6, A7, A8, A9, A11, A12, A13, A14, A15, A16, A17, A18, A19, A20, A22, A23, A24, B1, B2, B3, C1, and D1. Okay.
C1 is being pulled.
Oh, I'm sorry, C2 and D1. So may I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I'll make the motion.
Ms. Danziger makes the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Who's
He'll
it gonna
get-
be? Y'all,
should've
one
let
raised their hand.
Should've let
one
Zach.
Al, okay. Mr. Hubenak seconds.
Dare you step on my toes.
Okay, any discussion? Okay, hearing none, I call for the vote. All in favor, raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
Okay, none opposed, motion carries. First, I will read the donations, beginning on page 49. Policy CDC states that the Board of Trustees must approve any donation with a value in excess of $5,000. First donation, Campbell PTO donated $20,000 to purchase reading materials, subscriptions, and supplies for Campbell Elementary School. Dickinson PTO donated $10,543.70 to purchase a digital die-cut machine for Dickinson Elementary School. Friends of Lindsay donated $7,500 to Lindsay Elementary School. Meyer PTO donated $8,881.37 to Meyer Elementary School. Mr. and Mrs. Stewart Hanzik donated $5,000 to Wessendorf Middle School. Thank you for the donations. Okay. So we will start with,
We ask the board to approve a nomination for position 4A, B, and C, the Texas Association School Board, if the board chooses to do so.
any nominations? Hearing none. Okay.
The next item, Madam President, is that we ask that the Board of Trustees approve the 2021 Historic Site Exemption qualifications for the Simonton School.
Ms. Lovely?
You need a motion and
We can't
I was
ask
gonna
him.
ask her a question first. Could I ask her a
oh,
question?
okay.
Yes?
Sure.
Okay. Does this meet the qualifications for our exemption?
It is a historic site, and that's one of the qualifications. So, it does meet the Central Appraisal District's, requirements.
Are there any changes from last year?
There are no changes. This is the residential piece of that property. Did we get this last year as well? No.
We did not. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay, so do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Do I have any discussion?
Did you pull this item, Kate?
Yes.
Is
So
there
that
any-
it,
I'm just curious about your comments or your thoughts on
well, she asked, my question was, did it change any from last year? And since I've been on the board, we have not approved this.
We have not approved this in the past. And the reason for that has been what? I can't remember all the details from.
One of the big concerns was about it being a home as well as a historic site.
It's the same place.
But they meet the qualifications for the CAD, the Central Appraisal District, to qualify as a historic site. Is that accurate?
That's-
Historic sites don't have a residence in them.
This is a private residence.
I don't know.
If your home was deemed a historic site.
Yes.
And you live there, that doesn't, and just because they've deemed it doesn't mean that you could be tax exempt.
So there's nothing else that happens in this home, like a front part's not a museum or anything like that? The entire structure is used as a residence?
Miss-
In the past, it was like a museum. And I'm not sure if it is this year or not, because they were phasing it out. So I think it's primarily a residence right now. If you look on page 48 of the book, under step 4, official historical and archaeological designations, they have checked the yes box about the property being designated as a recorded Texas historic landmark under Government Code Chapter 442. And so that's how they qualify for the exemption. So then each taxing entity has to make a decision once one of these is filed as to whether they grant the exemption or not.
So it says no, to the question, has the property been designated as a historically or archaeologically significant site in need of tax relief to encourage its preservation pursuant to an ordinance or other law adopted by the governing body of the unit? And it says no.
Right.
They answered no.
I remember when they upgraded it or remodeled it years back.
Right.
Was it a schoolhouse or something?
It was.
Once upon a time.
Any other discussion? Okay. I'll call for the vote. All in favor, raise your hand, say aye. Okay. All opposed, so motion does not, Joe.
Opposed?
Hey,
Oh,
you
I'm
just
sorry,
said
all
opposed.
opposed. Raise your hand. Okay. So, request is denied.
The next item is that the Board of Trustees approve the rate order, tap, and inspection fees of the Fort Bend County MUD number 216 for Fletcher Morgan Junior Elementary School and approve the payment in the amount of $368,880.74 and authorize the Board President to execute the agreement.
I'll make the motion.
Let me get there, sorry.
Page 61.
Yep.
I'll make the motion.
Ms. Danzer makes a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Hunt makes a second.
Do you have that?
I had a question, just on page 63 in the wording, there's that line that says, please be aware that LCISD is responsible for any and all additional fees and or costs that may become due pursuant to the district's rate order. That any and that all, like, is there any protection built in for like arbitrary fees that may come up if things do go sideways or anything like that? That any and that all kind of just for me kind of just stood out of.
Most of the time, these law offices will draw up verbiage like that, and any time that it is something that is specifically for the school district, and we have been hit with additional fees at times, or a pro rata share, but all of the mud districts are pretty close to this type of verbiage.
Yeah, that's what I figured it would be, just that it just kind of.
Okay. Any other discussion? Okay, thank you. All in favor, say aye, raise your hand.
Aye.
Okay. All in favor, none opposed, motion carries.
The next item is discussion of beer and wine permit at convenience stores near school district property. The explanation is there that this is located right by KC Hall Drive and Highway 36. It backs up to our Band Road facility and the Ag Farm. And it's the board's discretion as to whether or not to approve the letter that would allow them to obtain the license.
It looked to me like they were even closer to that church that's down the street than they were even to us. Have they gotten approval from, I guess?
Don't we need a motion? This
is discussion.
This is the old American Legion Hall, correct? That property?
I'm pretty sure that's this thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if we don't have a problem with it, do we make a motion?
Yes, I'm just waiting to see if anybody
Okay,
else has.
but that was my question. It didn't look like there's other things around there if they've already given them the consent.
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
So do I have a motion?
Yes. I move that the board delegate authority to the superintendent to execute a letter of no opposition to the requester's request for a beer and wine permit.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, Lambert, all right. That's a second.
You gotta hurry.
I know, I'm learning. Gotta jump in there.
We were waiting for you.
I had my first opportunity, but Joe stole it.
I know, Joe took it.
That's why I was going, come on.
All right, all in favor, raise your hand, say aye.
Aye.
None opposed, motion carries, yes, motion carries.
The next item, we do ask that the Board of Trustees approve Apple Inc. to provide iPads and cases in the amount of $627,157 for the district-wide iPad refresh project.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Mr. Hubenak makes a motion, do I have a second? Mr. Welch makes second. Mr. Lambert, I believe you pulled this?
Yes, my question was just with the, since it's refreshing the old iPads, are the old iPads going somewhere? What do we do with them? Where do they go? Is this in addition to new iPads or some that are lost or damaged?
This is replacing old iPads. After so many years, Apple will no longer allow older devices to receive operating system updates. So we work with two different vendors, Diamond Assets or Second Life Mac, and we get money from those. Those.
Okay, so we get a rebate.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. They're of value to some lesser school districts.
Out of state, sure.
No, we always sell those back.
Is there something like that we could pass those on to students that are in our district already?
My understanding, and that might be a business office question, is it might be a gift of public funds. Under certain circumstances, I believe we're allowed to. But
Okay. We are allowed to? No.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Did I get that right?
I believe
Yeah.
that
Okay.
That's correct.
Perfect, thank you.
But they do definitely have some value.
Okay.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you. Okay, I'll take the vote. All in favor, raise your hand, say aye.
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 None opposed, motion carries. Okay, so I believe that completes the action items.
Yes, ma'am, Madam President.
So do we have any questions about the information items?
I had a question about the, I'm sorry, about the Digital Scholars Program.
We actually had a request, and so we've got a very brief presentation for you this evening.
Way to tee it up, though. That was nice, yeah.
There we go.
I think there should be something on your desk.
Catherine might have taken it.
It'll be on your.
There we go.
Madam President, fellow board members, and Dr. Randall, I have the privilege tonight of being able to speak about a potential pilot program here in Lamar CISD, which would be our Digital Scholars Program. It is important to note what it states at the very bottom of this presentation, that it's pending full ADA funding from TEA, as well as legislative actions related to virtual instruction. And so that is important. Again, this is a pilot, and we would wait for additional information from TEA and or the legislature. It's also important to note that this is not a COVID response, but it is an alternative pathway for our high school students, particularly, to get a high school diploma. If you look at from the utilizing synchronous and asynchronous TEA approved content classes and modalities, students who are immunocompromised we will be handling by a case-by-case basis, as well as looking at some other programs to be able to support those kids as we transition into the next school year. We are looking at an organizational piece with Dr. Melissa Smith being being the overall supervisor of two particular areas. One of those is our special sites, as you guys have known about it, which is the ALC program, our JJAEP program, and JDC. The other side is what we are calling the innovative program site, and that is our 1621 program that we know it as it is today, as well as the Digital Scholars Program that we would house under there, with providing a possible associate principal and a counselor. And then we would, a base of 12 teachers for at least core content, and then beginning to look at adjunct teachers and the use of TXVSN, as well as an acceleration component for all of our kids in LSC ISD as well. What are we looking at for next year? First of all, it would be application-based, and we would pilot this with 9 through 12 children. 9th through 12th. They're the most self-directed of all learners that we know, and so this is what we want to pilot for beginning into next year. We are stating that we want a maximum of 500 kids beginning the pilot with a minimum of 300. The reason the 300 is there is because of the number of teacher preps that would be required of students lower than that at that point, which we feel would have a possible negative impact on instruction. We would become a receiver district with TXVSN that provides a number of courses throughout the state. There are many districts in our area that are also our receiver district for TXVSN. And then the acceleration component is very important for us as well, that we would make available at all of our high schools. Then as you look at also continuing into next year, LCISD wants to plan and apply and provide training to be a provider for TXVSN going into next year for many years to come, which would allow us to be a provider for other districts throughout the state as well. When you look at the Texas Virtual Network, what is it? What it is a clearinghouse of rigorous online courses offered by approved providers.
The biggest piece of this is that these are TEA approved classes, TEA approved classes. The second bullet is that the advanced classes would be offered, dual credit classes would be offered. Currently right now there's about 90 different classes that are offered both at the advanced level, dual credit, advanced placement, and other classes as well. What are our characteristics of our learners? We are looking for self-motivated, self-directed students who prefer an individualized mode of learning, does not need the stimulation of a traditional class. And we want to see that you are at least savvy with technology, or at the very least comfortable with technology. Eligibility. When we look at the 2021 school year, students would need to have less than 10 unexcused absences to be eligible to apply. They would possess the appropriate credits for going into 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, and 12th grade. And then attendance would be throughout the day in their synchronous opportunities, but asynchronous. And I want to make sure that we're highlighting this because, again, they would be meeting in live direct teaching with our teachers and would be held accountable for being there, as well as asynchronous learning opportunities through Canvas or Texas VSN. But we do realize that the relationship between teacher and student are very important to the learning process. Committing to virtual learning for an entire semester. We would be also, the student would be available to report to a district facility for state and local testing as assigned, whether that is STAR, possibly our final exams, or any other pieces of benchmark testing and such. Teacher or administrator recommendation. We would ask for that also in the application process. And then finally, additional consideration may include behavior and discipline history. Instruction. Teachers would apply for the program. Teachers would only teach one modality, and they would be the virtual teachers. And as we stated earlier in our slides, we are anticipating, if we move forward, about the base of about 12 core content teachers, and then we would determine from there our next steps. When you look at the second bullet, again, on the lessons that we have learned in March of 2020 and then in this school year, most teachers will teach synchronously, which will include live direct teaching with some instruction and learning experiences being independent, self-paced assignments through Canvas and/or Texas VSN. So we want to have the relationship with kids, and we want to have direct teaching, and we want to have all of that, and we feel that the synchronous modality with asynchronous lessons is going to be beneficial for our kids. And then the Texas Virtual Network and other platforms will be used for some electives, and that will be for acceleration purposes, as well as when you start looking at graduation pathways. We might not be able to staff that class, but Texas VSN might be a good substitute to keep the endorsements in their same, or to keep their pathway towards endorsements the same. We looked and evaluated our data to determine how many classes, what were the most common classes that we had offered at the 9th through 12th level. I will not bore you with citing all of them, but you can see that we have a majority of all of our core content classes offered, both at the advanced level and the academic level. And then dual credit opportunities would be based upon enrollment and/or staffing as well. When you look at class offerings, what you see highlighted on your next slide are the different electives that majority of your 9th through 12th grade kids are taking. So you see in the slide, you have the foreign language piece, you have an art piece, you have physical education, and it is possible there'll be some homework, I'm sure, with our children. And then the principals classes with CTE, professional communication, speech, and money matters. But we will not limit it possibly from there. The piece that you see below that is additional elective classes could be offered based upon graduation plans and is dependent on course enrollment and staffing. And that some courses are only going to be able to be offered because of the nature of the course at a school, at the campus, and some of our CTE courses are like that. This is a piece that we have been mulling around a whole lot, but for the pilot program going into next year, students would not be participating in extracurricular athletics and/or performing arts. And there's 3 points that I want to make with that. First of all, UIL high school athletics and performing arts are competitive in nature. And one of the things that we have learned this year is that when you start pulling back and kids are not reporting to those skill-based elective classes such as performing arts and athletics, it can have an impact on the overall program. The third bullet that you see also there has to do with classes offered, and you have a large number of kids coming in and out of a campus at the high school level, could show some supervision issues, some safety issues, some travel issues, as well as virtual instruction issues that if you have a virtual schedule, you're coming back to the campus, getting back to your virtual class. For the pilot year, this is what we are recommending moving forward. Child nutrition, if you are eligible for free and reduced lunch, lunch will be provided. The curriculum is the same. The Texas Essential and Knowledge of Skills is our basis for our state curriculum, Lamar CISD curriculum, and that would also be delivered. Grading would also be the same with our regular, our on-campus classes and the Digital Scholars Program. We want to continue to maintain integrity of that process. We will begin to, obviously, when we want academic honesty from our kids, but we also realize that we also need to monitor closely. And so a lot of the exams in that format would be provided through an online platform to monitor and to ensure cheating would not be tolerated. Intervention is also going to occur. Teachers will assign it like they would in a normal classroom. It would be teacher designed, and then also the MTSS, multi-tiered support system, would also be supported in that virtual world. But the other part there at the very end is that some students might be required to attend face-to-face teaching and tutoring with their children. With their teacher, excuse me. Pieces of here we tried to outline, and these are the last few slides, of just what is the student role. And really, when you begin to look at each one of these key points, the parent's role is supporting the student role. And so I'm going to say that, again, we are expecting you to attend class and be on time, synchronously. We are expecting that you are ready to learn, that you have your Zoom camera on or whatever platform that we are currently using. We were asking that you follow the dress code different than in synchronous learning, no pajamas. We were asking that you engage and show engagement through Canvas as well as through synchronous learning and the completion of assignments. We also are highlighting the responsible use and digital citizenship, and that violations are articulated below that could cause a student to lose district technology if they continue to break those guidelines. Turn in schoolwork on a daily basis or at the direction of the teacher, and then follow the student secondary handbook, and then soon to be developed, if we move forward, a digital scholars handbook. As I said before, most of what you see here on the next slide are just the parent's role, and is really just supporting the kids, using your teacher and communicating with the teacher, being a partner in the educational process, ensuring that they understand the expectations that are outlined in the Student Code of Conduct, and then just being, again, a supportive force and partner with us as we educate their kids in a different modality. Lastly, what are our next steps? Well, at this time, we're looking at, this is all pending full funding from TEA, ADA funding. It's also appropriate legislative support, and then student interest. And we will be gauging the interest of our kids to determine if there is any interest out there. We believe that there will be, but we want to make sure that the data is telling us that. And then we will make a decision by mid-June on the direction of the Digital Scholars Program in the 21-22 school year. Any questions?
I have one. Is it a semester program? Is it a year program? How much are they committed to it? the whole year?
At least a semester.
At least a semester.
Mhm.
At any time during that semester, if the student or maybe even the teacher see this is not working out, what do we have in plan that, I mean, because you will have some that just didn't.
Yes, ma'am.
Won't be able to.
I think what we do at that point is we ensure that we're providing the necessary interventions and interventions first.
Okay.
And then there is going to be a point that a child would be allowed to go back to their home campus. The thing is that they won't be able to come back the second semester. When they move out, they're out for the time being, at least for this pilot.
I think my question was about accountability for the students. If we know that they're just not turning stuff in, you mentioned that they will be allowed to go back, but will there be a point where as staff will say, okay, this mode of learning is not best for this student? We recommend that you go.
Yes, and that's why we want to ensure that there is an administrator over the program that is also outside of our other schools, so that we can have a very strategic focus on the delivery of instruction, any parent concerns, any parent conferences that need to happen as well, to have that conversation on what is in the best interest of the child, because we are dealing with credits at this point as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Do we utilize the Texas Virtual Schools Network for Edgenuity now?
We utilize Edgenuity. Edgenuity is actually the program that we use at 1621. We have provided opportunities for some original credit, but most of that has been done for credit recovery. Texas VSN was utilized many years ago, and it didn't kind of have as much interest at the time. But when you look at Region 4 and all of the school districts, majority of particularly school districts our size and larger are also receiver districts.
Other than 1621 place, do we have other acceleration options in the district right now?
Acceleration for academic acceleration. We do at summer school. So currently, like even just today, we were having a conversation. We have 169 kids at the high school level that are wanting summer school for original credit. And so that has traditionally been during the summertime. We've really done a lot of work trying to get a lot of dual credit opportunities in that summer piece, at that summer time period. And the kids are responding well. What this does, it provides the kid an opportunity at an on-campus class. And they're on campus, and they might be taking an acceleration class through TXVSN. But it's on their own time. It's on the weekends, and it's going to be more self-paced and with that particular teacher through that provider.
Well, I think the program's great, so I hope that the legislature and DEA do what they need to do so that we can put it into action. I think it fits a need for a lot of our students.
I like the fact that you're having teacher administrator recommendations, because throughout this year, they know the best. They know
Yes.
which kids must be in this classroom, and they know which kids can handle outside the classroom. So I think that's a very big component to listen to.
So you talked about some of the eligibility would be students that are immunocompromised. Will they be like prioritized, or then you talked about some of the other ones that, we have some students that may not be immunocompromised, but this may be the best track for them. Will they be allowed into this program even if they are not?
It's going to be based upon the teacher recommendations. Once you let's say we have 900 kids and we have 500 spaces. Again, is that we're going to have to look at teacher recommendations, but then we're going to also have to prioritize possibly those that have already passed their STAR exams, starting to look at 11th and 12th graders as opposed to 9th and 10th graders. And so there's no guarantee that if they do not meet the eligibility that they would be served. However, I will say we're going to serve them as needed on a case-by-case basis and working to serve the community at that point going into next year, if needed at that point.
But they don't have to be immunocompromised.
This is not a COVID response, this program.
Right.
And we say that because we have learned a lot, and we wanted to provide an innovative pathway for kids to have an alternative way to get a high school diploma, because some kids are thriving in this environment.
Absolutely.
So do I understand that we would have some Lamar teachers, and this would be their job, to teach virtually?
Yes, sir.
And those students enrolled would also receive curriculum from the Texas Virtual Network in
If
addition?
needed.
if needed, if the Lamar teacher.
If
we
we're
don't
not
have-
able to staff that, correct.
So where would these teachers go? Where physically, every day, where would their work location be?
We're still trying to finalize that. We have some recommendations on there currently right now that we're looking at, possibly at the Thomas Randall High School shell space, but that has not been finalized because we are going to have a space, but for 1 year only.
So these teachers would not be teaching in person and virtually, they would only be teaching virtually?
Correct. We would provide that they would only be teaching virtually, and our staff would be able to strategically support them to maximize their impact in a virtual platform.
Do you already have some teachers that would be really happy to do? Yeah, that's why I'm saying, look at her face. Okay, I'll take that as your answer.
I have a question. So on the, I like how you say it here, to the assessment and integrity, it sounds very nice. So are we considering the same platforms that we use this year? Are we looking at different platforms because it's on a smaller scale? Do we have, I know it's still in the works, but do we have an idea what those would be?
Currently, it would be ensuring that we're utilizing consistently the platform that we have, because we've seen some success in some areas with that when they're used consistently. What we need to ensure is that we have very clear guidelines and support for those teachers that are assigned to teach in that modality only, particularly as we start beginning to look at the major test assessment grades and such, semester exams. But we also know that semester exams might have to be done in person. And so we're looking at that as well.
So with all the criteria that they would have to agree to, would there be any accommodations, I guess? Because some of these, if they say, well, we can't come in person, then that kind of takes the level out of the playing field, right? So there are some things that are like where we cannot accommodate, I would assume, like having the assessments in person or the finals, that type of thing, if everybody's gonna have to take them in person.
They're going to have to be willing. Currently, right now, what we are recommending is that that is part of the eligibility, that they are realizing that they might have to report to a district facility for local or state testing. State testing for sure, because that would be an expectation from TEA, probably from SAT, and possibly from AP as well.
And possibly finals and whatever the district deems, that we cannot monitor any assessment, or academic dishonesty. Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Okay, so any other discussion or questions on other information items? Thank you, Dr. Mosich, that was great. Okay, hearing none, it is 8:31. We are adjourning to closed session pursuant to Texas Government Code Sections 551.071, 551.072, 551.074, and 551.082, the Open Meetings Act, to discuss personnel, land acquisition, or consultation with our attorney. It is now 9:29 p.m. We are back in open session, and we have a quorum. Are there any motions to be made?
Madam Chairman, I move that the Board of Trustees approve renewal of contracts for administrators and non-administrators who are late hires.
Do I have a second?
I second.
Okay, Mr. Lambert seconds. All in favor, raise your hand, say aye.
Aye.
None opposed, motion carries. Any other motions?
Yes, Madam Chairman, I move that the Board of Trustees approve the superintendent retirement agreement.
Do I have a second?
A second.
Mr. Welch seconds. All in favor, raise your hand, say aye.
Aye.
None opposed, motion carries. Okay, so now we will proceed with the board officer elections. The floor is now open for nominations for president.
I would like to nominate Joy Williams to be board president.
Trustee Bronzell has nominated, Trustee Joy Williams is nominated for the office of president. Are there any further nominations for the office of president? Okay, I will now call for the vote. All those in favor of Trustee Joy Williams, please vote. Raise your hand, say aye.
Aye.
All in favor? None against? Motion carries. Okay, the floor is now open for nominations for vice president.
Madam Chairman, I'd like to nominate Alex Hunt for vice president.
Are there any further nominations for the office of vice president? Hearing none, I will now call for the vote. All those in favor of Trustee Alex Hunt for vice president, raise your hand, say aye.
Aye.
None opposed, motion carries. And the floor is now open for nominations for secretary.
I nominate Joe Hubenak.
Are there any further nominations for the office of secretary? If not, please raise your hand. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
None opposed, motion carries. All right. So let's see, declare the result of the vote and congratulate the officer.
Okay. And now 3.
Now it's number 3. Okay, do I have any motions?
Madam Chairman, I move that the Board of Trustees approve renewal of contracts.
No.
Number 3, I'm sorry. The Board of Trustees authorize the use of the current board approved signatures on all checks drawn at district accounts for a maximum of 90 days to allow the administration time to order new signature plates for President Joy Williams. That didn't change. And Secretary Joe Hubenak, that didn't change. So that was easy.
Congratulations, Vice President Hunt and Secretary Hubenak.
Do we have to vote, though?
Yeah,
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Ms. Bronzell seconds. Okay. All in favor, raise your hand, say aye.
Aye.
None opposed, motion carries. Are there any future agenda items?
I would like to see an information item or maybe a report or update of how the district did with our SPED kids, that basically the kids in the dyslexia program over the last year, if there can be some updates of how that went, because it might be, the legislature might be coming up with some new legislative actions that we're going to need to take with our dyslexia students. And it just needs to be some information, if that would be.
Do we have additional motion?
We read that number 2 already. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
We're good.
I did that one.
Yep.
Okay.
Who was, Mike, did y'all get Ms. Van Zigger's?
If that's
request?
okay. Yeah.
Got it. Any other future agenda items? Okay. Are there any upcoming meetings and events? You can hold your peace now and say nothing if you do. We've got a lot coming up, yes, graduations. Okay, we're good?
Yes.
Thank you, Dr. Randall. The meeting is adjourned. It is 9:34 p.m.